Probably many of you are aware of the massive surge in coronavirus in several countries. Recently, I read a letter from a friend living in India. Tears came as I felt more vividly what that is really like. A relative she described as a very dear brother had just been taken to the hospital with COVID. I'll read a few lines from her letter. Things are really, really, really bad here in India. There is an absolute collapse of the system. No oxygen. Hospitals are full. No ventilators. No medicines. Shortage of everything. Even the crematoriums are full. People are now cremating bodies on the streets. It's a horrifying situation. Probably you know that in recent days there's been an outpouring of support from many countries to India, but the conditions that many people are facing are still extreme. So I'd like to suggest that we hold her family and others in many places in a moment of silent attunement. 감사합니다. Thank you. I can feel the love from each of you pouring into those hearts and minds. When we think our situation is tough, let's remember many others are facing unbelievably horrible situations around our planet. We've just touched one of them. The coronavirus is exposing weaknesses in systems everywhere, not only in healthcare, but in all aspects of society and even in individual lives. But besides coronavirus, many people I know are going through massive purification in different ways. Thankfully, most are not facing nearly the horror in India. Recently, as I've pondered the world cycle, I've felt it's a purification where no stone will be left unturned. In other words, every hidden thing is beginning to come to surface. People are called to clarify every distortion cycle by cycle. Every dark place will have light shone upon it. I don't mean to scare you with this. Actually, there's something wonderful happening through all this.
네.
So just be patient. I'll talk about that too.
네.
Probably all of you have been sensing and experiencing something of purification also. And it can stir exasperation. Is there no end to this? Soon after one thing is purified, yet another surfaces. Well, the best way to reduce pain in such cycles is to not resist, but to focus on being thankful for whatever you can. I guess many of you have heard that. But how do you do it? Especially when it seems endless. So I hope what we share today will help you do it. Recently I heard something from Martin that struck me in how well it describes the current world cycle. Love transmutes. The transmutation process looks like disintegration, but something is being born. The disintegrative aspect of what is occurring is plain to see, and it becomes more obvious as time goes on. But in the general sense, the integrative aspect is unknown. Because of this, it seems as though what is occurring is disastrous from the human standpoint.
네.
So he said, in the general sense, the integrative aspect, what is being born, is unknown. Most people only see the disintegration. 맞아요, isn't that right? And it can feel like disaster because very few realize there is something being born through this. In our 4th level seminar, LTW, or Living the Word, we describe what's rising underneath all this purification. As the distortions clear, layer by layer, what's underneath naturally rises to the surface. And at the bottom of all those layers of distortion and pain, what's underneath is so beautiful. It makes them all pale in comparison. Underneath all those layers is the motherland, where we knew heavenly home. It helps so much to know that the challenges of purification are opening the way for us to return to heavenly home. Years ago, Eugen found the Song of Jerusalem. It's sung by Sinead O'Connor. Her words and the slow, breath-filled way she sings them convey the deep longing for our return to heavenly home. In a moment, I'll play the song, but first we'll read the lyrics. Jerusalem, our happy home, when shall we come to thee? When shall our sorrows have an end? Thy joys, when shall we see? There, cinnamon that's scented sweet. There, palms spring on the ground. No tongue can tell, no heart can think, our joys do there abound. Doesn't that describe heavenly home? Jerusalem, our happy home, when shall we come to thee? When shall our sorrows have an end? Thy joys, when shall we see? Fair Magdalene has dried her tears. She's seen no more to weep, nor wet the ringlets of her hair to wipe her Savior's feet. Jerusalem, our happy home, our heavenly home. Then shall we come to thee. Then shall our sorrows have an end. Thy joys shall we see.